Come on, trust me. Every business owner, I would say the majority of us are unicorns. Like we've done all of the things and we know how to do them well. But the truth is, if you don't give people a chance to show what they can bring to the table, you could be missing out on some real gold.
Welcome to We Love Deck Builders, the podcast dedicated to empowering deck industry pros to construct a thriving business. Join your host, April Edwards, founder of Deck Builder Marketers, as she brings you a cheat sheet of industry secrets and strategies that promise to boost your deck building business. Whether you're a battle-tested pro or just starting your entrepreneurial journey, this podcast is your arsenal for expert insights and actionable advice. So tune in and let's carve a path to business growth, one insight at a time.
Welcome back to the We Love Deck Builders podcast. It's your go-to podcast for mastering the business side of deck building. I'm your host, April Edwards, and today is a bit of a reality check. It's real talk, the hard truth about hard truth. If you're a deck builder who wants to grow your brand, land better projects, and attract high-quality clients, this episode is for you. Like I said, today's a bit of a reality check. It's real talk. It's hard truth about the hard truth. If you truly want to grow, stick around. But if you think investing in marketing is going to magically triple your revenue overnight while you stay completely hands-off, you might want to skip this one. Marketing is not magic, guys. It's a department and it's a critical part of your business. And just like every other part of your business, it needs your involvement, especially early on. So think of it like bringing on a new team member. You wouldn't expect someone to show up to the job site with literally no information, no communication, no direction, and just figure it all out flawlessly. But a lot of business owners do that when they hire a marketing partner. They sign the contract and disappear and hope for a miracle overnight. But it doesn't work like that. The best results come when you treat your marketing team like an actual department in your company, not an afterthought. If you're not willing to show up for your marketing like you show up on a job site, don't be surprised if it doesn't build anything. A real marketing team leads the process. They build the plan, launch the campaigns, test strategies, and optimize as they go. But they do need a little bit of your help. Not a lot, but just a little. So like you help your homeowners figure out their vision for what they want, kind of need the same from you. Like, what is your brand? What is your secret sauce? Are you continuously taking pictures of your work and videos of your work so that we can then get it out into the world and help you shine? Are you getting good pictures too? I highly recommend professional photos. It is going to take your website, your online presence, everything that you show folks. It's going to take it to a new level. And I'll tell you, those that get professional photos done for like the Deck Awards, it always just makes a bigger impression. You're able to see the experience of the space that you build through amazing photos. The other thing is you need to give your feedback on things. If somebody's writing content for you, you need to say, hey, you know what? That's not really how I would talk, or, it's just not hitting the mark. Here at Deck Builder Marketers, we have a whole process that we do. It starts with the brand DNA questionnaire, and then we end up building out a full brand strategy blueprint where it really defines your target audience, what the tone and voice is, what your brand personality is, and key messaging so that we nail it every time, because this is old school, guys. And this is Madman days. I heard people talking about this at IBS, and it was good to hear because, it kind of goes like this. Back in the day, like in the Madman days, advertising was about branding. It's like you would spend thousands of money on a campaign and an ad that basically, was just simple messaging and just real creativity. And then we went into the internet boom, and it was all about e-commerce. And then it changed to lead generation. And I feel, and just like some of the other leaders were saying at IBS, that branding is really, we're back in that stage again. And so what does that mean? It's It's storytelling. It's making sure that you are representing yourself, your company, and its personality visually and in the words that you use, in the tone of voice. It's kind of like when you meet with somebody and you have that body language, it helps you understand and connect, I think is more so where I'm getting at. So if you're working with a marketing partner and you're not actually looking at some of the things that they're doing for you in the beginning and giving feedback, you're never going to get to where you want to be. So again, your feedback is very critical in the early stages of working with a marketing partner. You need to fully explain your services. We've had clients that tell us they do certain services, but then they see us write content on it, and all of a sudden they don't want to do those services anymore. How are we supposed to align your messaging and the stuff that we're putting out into the world if you're not even keeping us up to date, on your business? And I say us, but any marketing partner in general. And that's why the collaboration is so, so, so important, because if you don't tell people and keep them informed, then, they're just going to kind of go on their best assumption. And assuming is a bad, bad, dirty, dirty word. So make sure that, you're even expressing, like, are there certain areas in that you serve where you get better projects? And what are those customers like there? Like, what are they looking for? Are you doing more like resurfacing, remodeling in certain areas, and then like some, other areas, maybe it's new housing or whatever it is, you get more of the ideal projects that you want. Everybody builds projects differently, and it's important to know, like, what is your sweet spot? What is it that you want to go for? Because marketing is really simple. It's having the right message at the right time for the right person. And your marketing partner should be doing a really good job at understanding everything about your business intimately so that they can do these things. But you do have to provide some feedback. Now, hopefully your marketing partner has a really good onboarding process where they're asking really in-depth questions. Like I said, we have our brand DNA where we're able to really ask the right type of questions in order to get what we need out of our clients so that we are successful. And I'm sure you do the same thing with your customers, right? There are certain things that you want to know how they're going to use the space and these types of things in order to really figure out how to build them something custom that fits their vision. All right. So make sure that you are taking the time out to, like you would if you brought on a new employee. You wouldn't just leave them there to figure it all out on their own. I hope not. I hope you have good training. We have, when we bring on a new team member, we call it the Deck Builder Marketing University. And so there's certain things that everybody has to know when they come on, core values, our mission, our purpose, our approach on things. And these are the types of things that us marketers need to hear from you as the end client. And so just kind of look at it that way. It's really important. And we always tell our clients that we're going to need more of their involvement in the beginning while we're building their marketing system. And then it's kind of less and less as it goes from there. We have one client that's been with us for 3 years, and we have a really good partnership, and it's not like we have to spend as much time together as we used to, although it is very important. And I'm excited to be meeting with a lot of clients across the country this year and have that face-to-face time. But I digress. The point is, you just need to invest a little bit more time in the beginning, and just know that you can't hire a chef to cook you your favorite meal if you don't say what your favorite meal is, right? There's things like this that it's easier to explain if we could compare it in that way. And, again, I'm stressing out on just making sure that you are communicating what you want and who you are and how you're different. And your marketing partner should also know how to pull out the right information, ask the right questions in order to really nail it. But your input is super invaluable. Also, if you have any changes in the business, like I said, with your services, let's say you want to start targeting some different locations, you want to expand, like you're just making a big change in your business, maybe bringing on new people that's going to dramatically change your process. Let's say that you start using, this is actually a big one. And for any of my clients that are listening, check this out. So if you start using like JobTread or some sort of project management software where it is really embedded into your process, you should have a section on your site that really talks about that advantage of somebody working with you, because they're not going to have to project manage you. They're not going to have to oversee everything that you're doing because you have this amazing system that keeps them up to date. And those things are really important to put on your website and really reinforce your process in a way of not just, oh, let's have a process on our site, but like, let's have a process so that it instills trust in our homeowner, and shows how we're different. I would say I can think of a couple of deck builders where their process is really their key differentiator. Because when somebody's going to drop a bunch of money on an outdoor living space, if they've never done it before, there's a lot of anxiety that goes into that. And so if you can show them that you're really like holding their hand along the way, that is, it's going to just instill trust in during, the sales process when they're even trying to figure out if they want to work with you. So make sure that you're sharing that information so that your marketing partner can then be creative with what they do with that information. We had a prospect today, not a prospect, but a client today who had an amazing testimonial that somebody just sent them. So what did they do? They forwarded it to us. Now we can take care of it and we can integrate it into everything. But if you don't share that stuff with us, how are we going to be able to do that? So you kind of have to be a creative pilot in that way, where if you have a really great project that you're super proud of and there's a particular reason why, maybe there's a particular problem that you solved or challenge that was included in that, make sure that you communicate that so that we can share it with the world. All right. And feedback is something, again, I've said this, it's really important so that you're aligned. I know everything in business is relationships, and it's super important to nurture that. And if there's an issue, to speak up so it can be addressed. If your marketing partner is like us, they truly care. And sometimes, there's a simple misalignment that just needs to be redirected. We have one client that happened, and I was so worried. I was like, oh my gosh, like, how it is when somebody gets a bad taste in their mouth, it's really hard to come back from that. But they were able to come to the table and say, hey, like, this is what we're experiencing. And what ended up happening is our relationship blossomed. We were able to address the problem and work together on it and grow from it. But we wouldn't have been able to do that if they didn't come to the table and say, hey, like, this is what's happening. Sometimes people just don't know what they don't know. So communication is extremely important. So without any of that, without that collaboration, the mark is it might be missed, and results might fall flat. I'll tell you from experience, we've had some clients before that didn't tell us they didn't like the website design, even though they approved it because of like one little thing or whatnot. And that stuck with them, but like they never told us to where we could have addressed it, which we would have. I mean, come on, if you end up building a deck for somebody and there's a particular feature that like just wasn't exactly what they thought it was going to be like, they're going to say something, right? And you're going to do whatever you can to make it right. So the point is it's a collaboration in that aspect. So. And, every deck builder is different. Some deck builders, they want everything explained, and some just want the highlights. We have clients that, they want a phone call all the time. And others are like, hey, I've got other things going on. I'm busy. Like, if you need anything, just text me. It's all good. Like, I hired you because I trust you. And we respect all of those. We know exactly how each one of our clients wants to be communicated to. And so it's important to just be upfront about what you that cadence is and what you prefer. A good marketing team is going to adapt. But, just like I said, with relationship building, it's going to take time to get to know each other. And just like you wouldn't build a custom outdoor living space for someone without first having a conversation about what they want, your marketing team needs the same level of collaboration. So this is an interesting episode, right? Like, I'm usually up here kind of talking about what you need on your website and social media and SEO. and all of these things. And today I'm saying, hey, if you want to be successful, you have to put in some of the work too. You can't just hire somebody and expect for magic to happen overnight. You should be hiring somebody that knows what they're doing. And in theory, yes, like they're going to help double your business, but you're going to have to work together to make it happen. We have feedback too. Some of our clients don't answer the phone. And so it doesn't really matter what we do to get them quality leads. If they're not going to answer the phone or get back to people right away, then all of the work we're doing is wasted. And so when we could recognize that, then we could come together and say, okay, like, here's a way we can help with this. Here's a solution. Let's automate this follow-up. Let's have them, use the booking system so they get reminders and, just streamlines things so that you could get qualified leads on your a calendar right away. There's a million different ways to skin a cat, as they say. And that's kind of where we come in and we're like, hey, we're noticing this, but let's work together and let's come up with a solution that makes sense for everyone, because there really are a million different ways to approach things. So again, I'm going to say that it's a relationship, and the better the relationship, the better the results. I'm serious. I am so serious. So if you don't understand something, speak up. If you're not happy, say something. And if you want to change direction, you got to be clear. If anyone's listening in, I know we got some people that have listened in. Make sure that you ask a comment. What do you think of this? Have you experienced this before? What has it been like working with a marketing partner? We've had another client. It didn't work out because they couldn't take the time to send us pictures. And so that was too much for them to have to do. And how are we supposed to promote their work if they can't take the time to send us photos? Is this making sense? I'd love to hear from somebody if you've experienced anything like this before and how you have specifically found success with working with a marketing partner. And I say marketing partner, it could be, it could be somebody on your team. It could be an agency, a freelancer. I know some people work with multiple companies, which sounds like a headache to me, but whatever your situation is, it's an investment. And it's not just about participation. It's also about budget. So most successful deck builders invest around 5% of their annual sales goal into marketing. Some invest more, especially if they're growing fast or they want to dominate a competitive market. And I've said this before, but the Small Business Administration recommends 5 to 15% of your revenue goal spent on marketing. It's like the stock market. There's ups and downs, and there are moments when it feels like nothing is happening. But with the right team and a long-term strategy, the payoff is absolutely worth it. So why am I saying this? Because again, you have to be communicating. The marketing company should be your marketing investment consultants, essentially. And you guys need to be having these conversations. You need to be real. Like, I say this because you can't come to this table and say, oh my God, all of a sudden I'm spending something on marketing. And I'm worried that things aren't happening overnight. That's the reality that we face with a lot of clients. Well, a lot of deck builders in general. I wouldn't say like our clients, but you have to be able to invest enough to make a difference. So let's give you an example. Google Ads. A lot of people I hear they're like, Google Ads don't work. And then the first thing I say is, well, how much were you investing? What was your media spend? And half the time it's like, I don't know, I threw a few bucks here or maybe $100, and even $500 is not enough. Like, your minimum ad spend should be $1,500 if you want to get anything out of it. People get scared, and that's what our job is to help them understand that, like, once you are able to get everything optimized, you're going to know what your return is going to be, but you're not going to get to the point of knowing what that return is going to be until you give it the time it needs. So communicating how you really feel about your budget is extremely important, and making sure that you're having open conversations with your marketing partner about that. We will come to our monthly check-in calls or our quarterly planning sessions, and we'll reevaluate things, like has the season been slower than it was last year? Like are there factors at play where just the leads aren't coming in out like they did before? Are things more competitive to where you have to start spending a little bit more money? And these are conversations you should be having. So I'm going to stop. I got a few questions here. So Bobby says, I really appreciate what you have to say. Thank you. Looks like Pops is here. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Lots of hand holding. Bobby also said, a lot of deck builders pride themselves on clear communication throughout the design process. It's the same with the marketing process. Both parties need to communicate. Yeah. Could build magic together. So I do want to show you a real world comparison. Just think of it this way. Okay, hold on. Pop said, cool. I wanted you to expand, so I'm glad you showed back up here. Pop said, you're spot on, April, but it's getting much, much better. Aw, he said it's getting much, much better because of me and my team. That's awesome. Thank you so much. That was really nice to hear. So think of it this way. I said this if you get like a new employee, you're not going to just say, okay, here, figure it all out. You're not going to ghost your crew on a job site, right? Like if you're not willing to show up for your marketing, like you show up on a job site, don't be surprised if it doesn't build anything. I think that's so good. It's crazy. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, what is this resonating with people? Because I'm just saying, like, you don't need to spend hours and hours and hours, but you at least need to check in with your team. Know what I mean? The clients that are the most successful that work with us are the ones that show up and give feedback and take the 15 minutes to have a phone call with us. They tell us about their lead quality and they share information with us so that we can get their perspective and put on our, inspector hat and look into things and figure out like better ways to improve things and optimize. I mean, that's what we're doing. We're kind of like a DJ, with the knobs on the board, like really trying to perfect the sound. It's the same with what we're doing. So yeah. One builder I know, they hired a marketing team and then they completely disappeared. They did not provide any photos, no feedback. They had missed calls. There was zero collaboration. And they were frustrated within 3 months, of course. So yeah, that didn't end up working out, by the way. We can only take things so far is the point, Another builder showed up, shared their goals, responded to requests. We need you guys to get reviews. Shoot for minimum of 2 per month. They gave us honest feedback, and more so, they trusted the process. I think people get a little nervous when they don't know how the sausage is being made. But you should be hiring, like really, kind of like when you hire a team member, right? And that's really the point I'm making here is that when you hire a marketing agency or a partner, it's like another member of your team. And, you have to have trust, you have to have communication, collaboration, and you do have to trust the process, I mean, I think a lot of business owners kind of go through this where they have a hard time hiring people in general because nobody's going to do it as good as them. And come on, trust me, every business owner, I would say the majority of us are unicorns. Like we've done all of the things and we know how to do them well. But the truth is, if you don't give people a chance to show what they can bring to the table, you could be missing out on some real gold. You're limiting them. You're making them feel like no matter what they do, it's never going to be right. And it makes them feel like they're walking on eggshells and that you don't trust in their brilliance and why you hired them in the first place. So, I think that's a pretty broad statement that could be applied to a lot of things. But when you do interview marketing agencies or partners, make sure that they do have a process in place. Make sure that you know what to expect, because if not, it could be a lot of misaligned expectations and unmet promises. So definitely make sure that they have a process. So get on the same page. share the same resources. And I mean, just in these two examples that I shared, like two totally different outcomes, and this is the difference between, I wish Jessie was here, our client success rep. She would probably back me up in saying that seriously, our most successful clients are the ones that show up and give feedback. And we're just asking for a 15-minute phone call every month, and our job is to keep you posted on things so that you don't have to worry about it. So the bottom line is that marketing can absolutely grow your deck building business. It can build your brand, it can attract higher ticket clients, and it can help you hit bigger goals. I want to stop. Does anybody have any questions? I love seeing you guys show up, really appreciate it. And if you're listening to the podcast, just know that we always do these live. That way people can show up, they could ask questions, collaborate, give feedback. And I just love hearing from you. So let me know. Let me know if anyone's got a question. Marketing doesn't have to be a vacuum. It happens when you show up, when you communicate and collaborate. It's not a one-man show. It's a whole department. It really is. I mean, I have a team. I think we have 15 people right now. And we have a specialist for each particular thing that we do. And, just think about that. Like, there's a lot of people involved. There's a lot of different perspectives. Marketing is, you have a marketing department. And if you hire somebody, that is a department. It's a department that, we run entrepreneurial operating systems. So we have, weekly scorecards that we do with each department. We have a leadership meeting. And it's just like having a pulse on things and making sure that all areas of the business are working together. Sales and marketing have to work together. And so we need to hear from sales if the leads aren't good, if you're getting leads from areas that you don't want, or again, like if you're struggling to answer the phone, tell us, be honest, be vulnerable so that we can figure out a way to get past that and put a process or a solution in place to, help get past that. But we need your communication. So Pop said, Pop's Beaudry is from NADRA, nadra.org, you guys, North American Deck and Railing Association. Make sure that you join. Really dedicated to the industry and helping to move things forward. It's a great organization and you just need to check it out. So Pop says, turn the interview around so that they feel they are being interviewed as well. Yeah, that's good. It's true. Whoever you do business with, you need to interview each other to make sure that it's a good fit. I had somebody a couple of weeks ago who, for whatever reason, I don't need to share the particular reason, but, I'm completely here to help, want to move them in the right direction. And that is my job, during sales, is to make sure that, I can help you find the best solution, whether it's with us or not, and we have to be really selective with who we work with as well. So anyway, for them, I was like, look, like I spend a lot of time. I do homework before I meet with people. And then I, meet with them for an hour, sometimes longer. And then I put together a really nice recap. And I've got we have a whole audit that we do and all these files for each prospect that I talk to. So if you are interested in that, make sure that you sign up for a free strategy session. I put the link up here. I think it's ticking on the bottom of the screen there. deckbuildermarketers.com/get-started. But yeah, I actually referred him to somebody else, not because I wanted him to go to that person, but there were just certain things where I was like, I'm not totally sure. And so I would feel better if you interviewed a different agency too, So anyway, that just kind of follows up on what Pop said there. So marketing isn't a one-man show, guys. It's a department. And if you treat it like one, you'll be amazed at what it can do for your business. So over and out. If you guys enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, and be sure to check out our other episodes. I guarantee you're going to find a ton of value and insightful tips. Oh, and don't forget to grab the book, the Deck Builder Marketing Playbook, packed with proven strategies to scale your business. And hey, if you want to see even more, head over to deckbuildermarketers.com. You're going to find a ton of tools, guides, and the opportunity to book a free strategy session with me. We've got a lot of great resources coming up. So make sure that you follow us on social media so that you can stay up to date with events that we have going on. We're going to have some webinars coming up and lots of exciting things this year. So thanks so much for listening in. And until next time, keep moving forward.
Thanks for tuning in to We Love Deck Builders, and see you on the next episode.